Yo, 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 everyone. It is Stream Tuesday, and today we are seeing some Shadow Paladin cards. We are seeing if Fianna is good or not. Now, spoilers, the clans that got better support in the last few months didn't really get very good clan selection support. But you could also say that their cards are already so much better that clan selection wouldn't cut it anyway. So, and unfortunately, Shadow Paladin is one of those, but witches, the witch archetype has not really been explored much ever since V started. So maybe something will happen today that makes it really good. Now let's start. We'll start with like some of the stuff they revealed on Card of the Day, because they ran out of ideas on what to search for. Reveal. So now they're revealing clan selection stuff, but they're all part of the same kind of support, so we might as well do it. So the first one we have is Cold-Blooded Witch Luba. So auto regard circle. This ability's cost is reduced by counterblast 1 for each of your opponent's grade 0 regards. When placed, counterblast 2 and put a grade 2 or greater normal unit from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck and draw a card. So this draw unit, it feels awkward, because if you get this early, it means you can't spam it unless your opponent has 2 grade 0s on his field. And if he does, then what is he doing? Right? What is he doing? You also need to put something back from your deck. So sometimes you haven't been guarding, you've just been no guarding. If that's the case, then you can't pay that cost as well. And it's also regard circle only, unlike Abyssal Owl, the superior Abyssal Owl, which works in the Vanguard circle. Also is free when you go second and is searchable by the main. So I guess that's kind of interesting, because if you're running witches, then you can run the main, which allows you to run Abyssal Owl. Now, the thing that this card does do is put back cards, which could turn out to be pretty good. But apart from that, I feel like the Abyssal Owl is just better. So, unfortunate. Next one we have is Witch of Reality Femme. So, auto. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost Soul Blast 1. Your opponent chooses 2 grade 0 unit cards from his or her drop zone and calls them to the regard circle with grade 1 or greater. Calls them to the regard circle with grade 1 or greater units on them. Okay, sorry. If no cards were called, this unit gets drive +1 until the end of turn. So, you pick 2. Your opponent chooses 2 grade 0 units. They're all going to be triggers / the starter, and then you call them to regard circles. Well, you don't even get to choose, eh? Your opponent chooses, so sucks. You didn't get to retire the cards that you want to retire. Now, first off, though, when we think about it, it's a Vanguard circle only effect, so you want to draw it early. If you don't, then you feel bad. But yeah, you want to draw it early. Soul Blast 1, get the effect off. Early on, it's quite unlikely that your opponent will even have a field that you want to retire, or that you can retire, and he probably didn't even discard enough cards or guard enough yet. So you probably won't be able to get the replacement effect off, but luckily she has a second effect, which is just drive +1 until the end of turn, which is nice. Just early game +1 drive is pretty good. But if you somehow play it out later, you're probably not going to get the second effect off, and we'll see why, because we got Fianna, Mesmerizing Witch Fianna. So act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost counterblast 1, retire 2 regards, search your hand or deck for up to 1 Witch of Reality Femme, call it to a front row regard circle, and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. The circle that called unit is on becomes a Vanguard Circle until the end of turn, and then the second effect is continuous Vanguard Circle. During your turn, all your Vanguards get power +5k for each of your opponent's grade 0 regards. Now, this is interesting effect, similar to Ganslot. It turns one of your regard circles into a Vanguard Circle. And this time it turns your Femme's regard circle into a Vanguard Circle. So now she can use her effect again, which solves that weird problem of her just being a Vanguard Circle. Now, you don't get to search the drop zone, so you don't get to call anything. It has to be from your hand or the deck. So that's where I guess the grade 1 comes into play, to put that card back if you run out of Femmes. So it's like this perfect triangle or circle where one thing just supports the other. Now, the kind of annoying thing is that if we have to compare this with old Shadow Paladin cards, right? So right now it'd be Luard. Doesn't ramp as hard as Luard. In terms of versing Luard, I think Luard just overall is the better deck. In terms of things like Mordred and PBO, I think it's way closer, but I feel like those things do just accelerate the force markers way quicker than Fianna. So I don't know. It's hard to say, like hard to think about what this card, what kind of niche it feels, but in the context of just clan selection, this, I guess it's okay. It's one of the interesting ones, but otherwise, yeah, in the current metagame, well, let's forget about Gold Paladin. Gold Paladin probably will get hit, right? But when it's comparing to other things, even like the top half of your tier 2, then I don't know. I don't think it compares. The biggest problem here, yeah, is just no force marker or no gift acceleration, which is what every single clan has now. Also, the how do you say it? The benefit for what she does is not good enough. So you get a fem, you call 2 grade 0s over some of their grade 1 cards, and then you're basically banking on them not replacing those cards in order to scale your power, right? So the first time you do it, you get 10k. Second time, if they left the 0s alone, you get plus 20. But that's thinking your opponent is just a bunch of rocks that doesn't really have a brain, right? People will recognize that you need the 0s, and they'll just play accordingly. And then you only get to replace 2 cards every single turn. So there goes your power gains. And since like you ideally want to go Force 2 because you don't re-ride Force markers often enough to go Force 1, but thing is you can't because just playing a pure Fianna deck you don't get that kind of power level, right? You don't get that power, so yeah, it's weird. The other thing is you don't really get any multi-attacks with this card at all because by running Fianna, you can't run Morfessa, right? Morfessa doesn't work. Your fem becomes a Vanguard circle, so then running the Morfessa there just, you know, it doesn't fit. The conditions don't work. So it's just overall a 3 attack force deck, and that's something from like 2019, I guess. And then the other thing is that what's your finisher then, right? If it's not a multi-attack, then the next best thing is like a danger lunge. But then again, you're not generating the force markers like Mordred to be able to make danger lunge really threatening. So I'm not really seeing where the scariness from Fianna comes from. Like the old Fianna would look at your opponent's top 10 and make them call from there, so it would decompress the deck. This one doesn't even do that, but at least you always get to confirm to maybe get replace 2 cards. So that's kind of weird. The other thing I want to say is that, yeah, when you call the fem, again, like I said it before, like late game wise, you kind of want to get the extra drive, right? Because, you know, twin drive, another twin drive is pretty good. But by that time, they will have a big drop zone. They'll have cards on their field most of the time. So you're just going to be doing the replacement effect a lot. And I don't really think it's worth the 10k. I don't really think it's worth the 10k. Or if they just leave me alone plus more. I mean, if they leave alone, if they leave those 0s alone, it's pretty good. But again, they'd have to be pretty dumb. Alright, so that's it for Shadow Paladin. I guess Shadow Paladin is not as hype this time as you would expect with all the attacks it got. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this good in a clan selection context? If you only think about clan selection, is this a good card? I'm leaning towards no. I'm leaning towards no. But let me know what you guys think. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.